Have you ever wondered what that little cutout is in the bottom right hand corner of the roundabout on a roundabout sign? Well, the traffic signs manual states that that is to emphasise that all traffic must travel in a clockwise direction. So essentially it's there to try and prevent you from going the wrong way around the roundabout. It's usually in the same place in the bottom right hand corner of the roundabout, but it can vary its location slightly to try and accommodate different roundabout layouts. And it's also used where there is more than one roundabout on the sign. What about these symbols you often get on roundabout signs? What are they for? Well, they are emergency diversion routes, page 125 in the Know Your Traffic Signs book. They are pre-planned routes to take you around a section of road that may become closed. So let's say you're on the motorway and something has happened up ahead and a section of that road needs to be closed. They can just put up a sign saying, follow the triangles. You follow the triangles on the signs and that takes you around that closed section of road. Here's an example. I'm not going to show you this whole diversion route because that would be boring, but I'm going to show you the junctions. Let's say the road up ahead is closed and there's a sign saying follow the triangles. At the moment there's actually a different diversion route in place, but no, let's go with the triangles. Let's say the diversion route is saying follow the triangles. There's the triangle, take this exit towards Housestead. So that's what I'm doing. I'm leaving now towards Housestead. And the next sign, the triangle, is left again. You can probably see that now. There we go. So it's left first exit for the triangle. So I'm going left here, as that's where the triangle says I need to go. And that sign also says left for the triangle as well. So that backs that up. Oh no, now the triangle's in the right lane. So I need to go to the right lane and now follow this lane. And you can see the triangle there saying this is the correct exit. And this next sign says it's ahead, second exit for the triangle. So I'll do that here as well. And I can already see the triangle on the exit sign for the exit of the roundabout. So I take this exit, backed up by the triangle on that sign, and now I need to go right at the next roundabout to follow the triangle. So just checking my mirrors, positioning to the right so that I can take the right lane when it splits to two lanes. And then I'll go right third exit at this roundabout. And signal to leave, and the triangle there saying that this is the correct exit if I'm following the triangles. Aha, now I've got a bit of a problem because I'm approaching a roundabout and there is no sign to say which way to go. So this is not a perfect one because, well, this roundabout has no sign. So I'm going to slow down as I approach it and try and look at the exit signs. And I can already see it now. Slight problem, but nothing VoiceOver can't solve. Although there is no sign approaching this roundabout, what I'm saying is I can see a triangle on one of the exits of the roundabout. Not ideal, but I can still figure out which way to go. And here we are, about to join the A12 again. That was the road I left when I started following the triangles. It's taken me around the city to bypass that main road, and now I'm going back on to the main road via this slip road. Although I really do want to speed up at the moment, but the car in front is not speeding up. It's doing 35 miles an hour as we're approaching this slip road, which I don't like. So I've left a bit of a gap and I've tried to then speed up and then slow back down again, just so I wasn't pulling out in front of someone going slower than them. I was sort of going the same speed as them, then I slowed down as I was approaching the car in front, which I felt was the safer thing to do. Now let's get going. Now that is actually what I recommend you do if you're following a slow moving vehicle on a slip road onto a 70-mile-per-hour road. Me keeping a big distance between myself and the vehicle in front meant that I had both options. Either I could accelerate or slow down to help myself merge with traffic. If I was following the car in front closely, I wouldn't be able to accelerate. I would only have the option to slow down. By coincidence, the day I happen to be filming this, there's actually a diversion route in place at that junction that's got nothing to do with the emergency diversion route and following the triangles. If the emergency diversion route is being used, there will be a sign which says something along the lines of road closed, alternative route, follow this symbol. In this case, it would be the triangles. However, one of the problems I have is I seem to struggle to remember which symbol I am following, and then when I get to a sign that has more than one symbol on it, I don't know which way to go. Probably just me though. Now I know what you may be thinking, and that is, if I'm in traffic, road's not moving much, and there's a sign with a symbol on it, maybe I should follow those symbols and that will take me around the traffic and back onto the road. Well, I don't recommend that, because sometimes these emergency diversion routes are really long and take you well out of your way. They're designed to take motorway traffic, so they're not going to take you through some smaller streets, they're going to take you on main roads, and sometimes they are going to be long. And it appears the routes aren't always complete. So there may be some junctions where there isn't a permanent sign, and they would have to put up a temporary sign there so you would know which way to go. And of course, if you're not being told to follow the symbols, they're not going to bother putting up the temporary sign. For example, that last roundabout I did has no sign on approach, so they would have to put up a temporary sign there so you would know which exit you need to take. I just looked at the exits and managed to see it in the distance, but it's not practical to rely on that. Have you noticed that the route arms on roundabout signs can vary in thickness? When I say route arms, that's the technical term for the exits on the roundabout sign. You can get the thicker exits or route arms, and they are for primary routes. You can get the medium thickness ones, they are for non-primary but important routes. And then you can get the skinny lines, and they are for local routes. You can also get these little things. They're known as stubs. That's the technical term for them. They are an exit from the roundabout, but one that's not important enough to have a direction on the sign. But beware of stubs. If you have a stub pointing in the exact same direction as an exit, and it will probably be that way around, because we drive on the left in Great Britain. If the stub is pointing in the same direction as the exit, that stub represents the wrong side of a dual carriageway, and you don't want to drive down the wrong side of a dual carriageway. In my opinion, they should put a no entry sign next to that stub, but they don't. And I think that's because as you go around a roundabout, it's obvious which exits you can take and which exits you shouldn't take due to the angle of the roads. But still, sometimes people do go down the wrong side of a dual carriageway. Fortunately, it doesn't happen often. So we have an example coming up now of a stub that represents the wrong side of a dual carriageway. Here we can see the roundabout sign. The exit towards London is one side of the dual carriageway, and the stub represents the wrong side of the dual carriageway. And as I drive round the roundabout, you can see the exit towards London is clearly an exit due to the angle. And as I go around the roundabout and across the dual carriageway, this road on the left, which was the stub, is not an exit. You can see that by the angle, and also there is two queues of cars queuing, so it makes it more obvious on that occasion, but they are not always going to be there. Sometimes you can get a red line at the end of the stub. This means that that exit is a no-through road. And here's an example of a stub that does actually represent an exit I can take, ahead second exit on this roundabout. It's just that exit isn't important enough to have a direction on the sign. And that's because on this occasion, it's just a little road. There's actually gates up there at the moment which are closed, and there's just a few businesses there, as you can probably see as we go around. And I believe there is actually a scrapyard up there as well. Most of you probably know what this line is for. It's a priority lane that's segregated from the roundabout. It can either be segregated with a ghost marking, which is essentially a white road marking, or a physical barrier. But essentially it means I should be able to go at the roundabout without having to give way. And as you can see now, I've got the white road markings. and I can just turn left, and the traffic from my right should not cross those right road markings, meaning I can continue without giving way. Still important to signal though, because traffic entering the roundabout may not know you have to turn left, so that signal can still help them understand that you're turning left, which helps them enter the roundabout. But with this one, I don't need to give way to the roundabout, but I still need to give way, because yes, I'm not giving way to the roundabout here, but on this occasion I do have a give way line here. So now I need to give way to this road before I enter it. So be aware of that. Well, I need to wrap the video up now. It's getting dark. It's the 8th of January at 3:20, and it's already getting difficult for the camera to see me. If you found the video interesting and learnt some new things about roundabout signs, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy, and that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car that you're using to practice your driving in. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest. And you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again. Just change the car, recalculate and get a new price. So it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.